Welcome back to my channel, artists. Today we will be talking about value shading with our pencil. Step number 1, measure 2 inches on your ruler. You're going to measure 2-inch lines across 2, 4, 6, and 8 on work on my paper. If you have a different size paper, that's totally fine. So here I am, I'm going to measure 2, 4, 6, and 8 inches across. I do have a little bit of space left over because my paper is longer than that, and that's okay. Measure twice, once at the top and once at the bottom, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then you're going to twist your ruler sideways, and you're going to connect from the top of your paper all the way down to the bottom to get those grids. If you don't have a ruler to work with, just make sure that your grids, that you have 3 or 4 equal spaced lines across, and then of course you're going to do some the other way as well. I'm going to make sure I'm not on the inches side. I've got that 0 on the edge, and I'm going to do the 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 on this one. Of course, 12 is the edge of the paper. I'm going to do it a second time at the bottom, measuring my 2, 4, 6, and 8, and connecting from the top of the page to the bottom, right along those dots like I did on the other side. Optional step, if you would like, is to trim off the if you have like little extra smaller ones on the edges, you can trim those off. That's completely optional, up to you. Step number 2, write words on the edges. So in the upper left-hand corner, put an X. You won't put any letters there, and then write words. I have 5 letters remaining on my first word, so I wrote the word learn, and 3 on the column, so I wrote the word art. Step number 3, overlap your letters. Go across, starting with that first letter of the first word. Your letters, as you can notice, don't have to be right side up. They can twist, they can be sideways, they can be diagonal, as long as it goes from the top and bottom of each of the rectangle or the squares. So then I'm going to go to the R next on that second row. I'm going to make sure that my letters are tall enough that they touch the top and the bottom of each of those squares, kind of dissecting it into different shapes. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit tricky later. The T, of course, goes all the way across the bottom, making it upside down and sideways, both directions, to have a little bit of fun. Now here comes the overlapping. I'm going to take my L and I'm going to go down with the L, of course twisting it around as I feel like, and the same with the E, and so on and so forth as I go through my letters. When you do that, what happens is that your letters will overlap and create these unusual shapes inside of each of those squares that we're going to have a little bit of fun with later. Step number 4, practice your values. I have a worksheet for you. If you have a chance to use my worksheet, you can. Otherwise, you can use any really 5 squares of paper. You want to practice making light, medium, and dark values, and then some values in between. To me, it's easiest if I make my light value, my medium, and my dark first, and then I'm going to go back and make my medium light value and my medium dark value to kind of go in between. You want to have 5 separate and distinct values so that you have a difference between your medium and your medium light, your medium and your medium dark and your dark, and then of course your medium light as well. So you can notice as I'm going along here, you can see that I have a light, medium, medium light, light, medium, medium dark, and dark as it goes across. Step number 5, add values to the shapes. These are those unusual looking shapes that happen when we intersected our letters. So I thought it would be fun to start with dark value, and I just went through my entire artwork coloring in 1 or 2 of those shapes dark values for inside of each of those intersecting areas. You can do it in any order that you would like. Just make sure that each of the little shapes that you have created have different values. So you'll see here I'm making my line a little bit longer so I have a clear shape of which area is supposed to be dark in this section. You may need to have a pencil sharpener nearby for this, as you'll be probably sharpening your pencil frequently as you're working. You can move on to other values, maybe start with the lighter value if it's easier for you, but like I said, you're going to go through the entire artwork coloring in dark, medium, medium light, and light values in each of the sections to have a variety, some contrast in your values.